Hi, I'm Jessica Ann, and I'm so excited to bring you this next episode of The Art of Humanity from a place of expansiveness. I'm on a mission to reframe how we view marketing, to remove self-doubt so that you can align with your unique path in life and in business. I truly believe that podcasting is an activation of who you are in the world. That's why I created my high-touch podcast program for coaches, consultants, and creative visionaries who are looking to start and scale their podcast into a globally recognized brand. My signature program for future podcasters is now open for enrollment. It will be open for a few weeks until May 31st. I open enrollment only a few times a year, and I do it intuitively. So if you're intrigued, I highly recommend hopping on over to the link in the show notes and submitting your application. In this program, you'll get one-on-one guidance from me so that you can have personalized support that takes you right into your launch. These 9 weeks are heavily private. We're going to have calls every other week during the 9-week kickoff period, and I found that this works really well so that instead of being on your own, I'm here to make sure that you're getting the momentum and support that you need. The program includes 9 online modules, and one module is released every 7 days so that you get traction, you build buzz, and build your audience, and you can go through it in a step-by-step way. It also includes weekly Q&A support where additional tools and tips are given so that you have a safe space to ask questions about podcast strategy as you grow. We cover all different topics about branding, social media, marketing, distribution, including all of the emotional stuff that tends to come up as you're about to launch. So if you're interested, you can apply at the link in the show notes. Enrollment is open until May 31st. I'm thrilled to welcome you in and get to know you. So back to this episode. I don't just publish episodes to check off a box. I really feel into the collective energies and only hit publish when I have something to share. This requires creative courage, honoring the grand scheme of the cosmos. And instead of comparing myself to other creators who may be publishing weekly and sometimes even daily, I honor my own divine timing. I've had to redefine success in order to stay committed to my path. For me, it's not about followers or reach or fame. Success for me is living a life where I can put my ideas out into the world and be vulnerable enough to share my experience. I recently got asked what my thought process was to starting my business, and I want to share it with you here. I'm grateful that I had all of my dream jobs in my 20s. I was a news junkie as a kid, so when I landed a job at a news station while still in college, I thought I had it made. My plan was to be a journalist. I quickly learned that news is not glamorous or anything that I expected. I didn't want to be censored by corporate media, so I launched my own company, Jessica Ann Media. A lot of the media placates to low frequencies and emotions, and I did not want to be part of the problem. So instead of trying to find yet another job that would lead to burnout and self-censorship, I took a chance on myself. I launched my company with zero experience in business at the time, but the results were instantaneous and magical. I started publishing my ideas and articles online during the glory days of blogging, and I soon found the others through my stories. Sharing my stories allows me to live an inside-out life and to run my business through my core values of authenticity and integrity. This approach to doing business fuels my soul and has kept me going for a decade. I soon was working with leaders in various industries that were in their infancy. One of my first clients was Bitcoin before it was even called Bitcoin, and I helped to bring the concept into the mainstream consciousness back in 2012. Today, I love working with creative visionaries and clients in the technology and blockchain industries who are ready to grow their business through organic traffic. If you're in the marketing or social media space, or really any industry today, you're probably aware of the energy when you're creating from a place of obligation or from a place of lack. It can feel restrictive and like a quick hit of dopamine. And look, obligation is totally different from commitment. I'm committed to showing up, and I understand the value of commitment. But the way that I design my business and life is from the belief that my success is not derived from how much I do, but rather how much I'm embodying everything that I learn. I'd rather resonate deeply with one person who truly sees me, who values me, and respects me than 1 million people who don't. This has been the strategy, if you even want to call it a strategy, for running my business, because I'm not here to sell out my soul. I pause and reset intentionally so that running my business becomes an embodied practice. I've been playing with the energetics of business for the past decade, and today I truly run my business through energy. It's not logical or linear. I don't search for my clients. I don't do cold outreach or anything of that sort. In human design, if you're familiar with human design, I'm a 6'2" projector with a defined throat chakra. And when I feel lost or stuck, I find that speaking helps to communicate in the most quote unquote logical way. So now that you know my business's backstory, I'll use this new episode to reintroduce myself to any new listeners and share context for even those who have known me and my work for a while. If you have been following me for a while, you probably already know that I'm on a dedicated path to personal and spiritual growth. Today, my work involves activating the voices of the most magnetic brands and visionaries, which results in more engagement online. Here are some fun facts you may not know about me. I grew up at the Jersey Shore in Springsteen territory near Asbury Park. I've lived in Los Angeles, the Bay Area, and Washington, D.C. I'm currently living in my dream home in San Diego with my miniature dachshund. The beach is my home and part of my soul. I was born sensitive and intense. I'm what some people call a highly sensitive person, or HSP. I take everything in, and over the years of self-study, I learned how to channel my creativity into business. It's truly my superpower. I'm a huge book nerd. Some of my biggest creative influences are A9 Nin, Aurobindo, Dr. David Hawkins, Terrence McKenna, and Ram Dass. I launched my business, Jam, a marketing agency where we work with brands to develop comprehensive marketing and campaign strategies tailored to specific business goals. We're celebrating 1 decade in business. Today, my company has a diverse client base within the technology and blockchain industries. I'm a certified yoga teacher and runner, and I once ran the Marine Corps Marathon in Washington, D.C. That's 26.2 miles. My deep love for health and fitness allows me to bring embodiment and intuition into the conversation. If you follow human design, I'm a 6-2 projector. I'm a Gemini sun, a Capricorn moon. And if you're not familiar with human design, it's a map of behavior and energy, which is super fascinating. And it's helped me better understand how to run my business. So a bit more about projectors if you're interested. Success for us projectors is not really in the constant hard work, but in good timing and alignment in the flow. It's all about attuning to the tempo of the universe. Human design is an energetic blueprint that explains how we're built and how we best respond to the world. It highlights our gifts and strengths and gives us a framework for how we communicate, interact, and make decisions. If you don't know your human design, I'll leave the link to how you can find it in the show notes. Coming across this tool makes so much sense for me because I love studying and observing human behavior. And I've always been fascinated with energetics since I was little. I've taken this strength of assessing human behavior and I put it into my business model to help guide others. My energy really works in a different way than most, and it requires a unique approach to develop and refine. This approach is not taught in the traditional sense, so I've had to uncover it myself. Most of the learning is all about deprogramming. We have a different way of seeing the world, and as many projectors do, we have a polarizing aura. My views are often futuristic, which is also what attracts me to industries in their infancy, like cryptocurrency. My clients have achieved success in viewing their marketing from this really different perspective. I look forward to anticipating the challenges of these new industries like NFTs and blockchain technologies. If you're new to my podcast and are just finding me, I invite you to check out the archives of my show, where we explore creativity and consciousness with some of the most brilliant minds. I've interviewed people like Seth Godin, Dr. Jack Kruse, Dr. Kelly Brogan, James Altucher, and Richard Rudd of the Gene Keys. If you like this podcast, leaving a 5-star review on Apple or wherever you get your pod would mean the world to me. It only takes a few seconds. I'm so thrilled to be here with you for this latest episode. To get all the links and show notes from this episode, go to artofhumanity.io/episodes. I hope you have a magical day.